There is growing opposition to one of the sites that the Port of Corpus Christi has proposed for a desalination plant. Now, that location is Harbor Island across the ship channel from Port Aransas. And a group of residents there are strongly opposed to that idea. Our Greg Chandler is following this story. He joins us live from Port A now to explain why those folks think Harbor Island would be a bad location. Greg.
Lee, Harbor Island is one of two sites that the Port of Corpus Christi has applied for permits to build a desal site on. This site, the one right across the channel from me now, would be used to provide fresh water for our area. But a group from Port Aransas, as well as some scientists, believe that Harbor Island is the wrong place to build a desal plant. The Port Aransas Conservancy is worried about the Port of Corpus Christi's plan for Harbor Island. They already oppose a proposed crude export dock there. Now they're speaking up against desalination.
The overall theme here is the aesthetics and the preservation of nature.
Dan Pecor and other Conservancy members believe a desal plant would affect Port A both environmentally and financially.
From fish larvae, from where the spawning takes place, to tourism.
We face a water crisis and we have to look at options.
Texas A&M Corpus Christi marine biologist Dr. Greg Stenz is in favor of desalination, but he says the proposed Harbor Island site poses a threat to marine life and their habitat as water flows in and out of it. He says one solution is to move it offshore.
That minimizes environmental damage, and I think if that type of activity occurred in that design, especially if it was offshore, you would minimize a lot of this controversy.
Moving offshore would also make the Port A Conservancy happy. The bottom line, though, they're willing to compromise.
If worse comes to worse, the minimum would be that the discharge flow be out into the Gulf of Mexico.
Now, there's no word on whether or not port officials would be amenable to moving the facility offshore. We reached out, but haven't heard back from them. Jen?
All right, Greg, hopefully we get a response on that soon. Thanks for the story. Well, time to double check your credit and bank statements. Credit card skimmers were found at 3 Corpus Christi convenience stores over the weekend. 2 skimmers were found at Stripe stores at SPID in Everhart and SPID and Airline. The 3rd skimmer was found at a Circle K in the 3800 block of Rodfield Road. So the picture we just showed right here, that's what those skimmers look like. All 3 of the skimmers had tiny cameras to capture your PIN number. Now, they were custom made to attach to specific models of ATMs. Well, 2 people are in jail after a shooting that happened outside of a bar on Baldwin this morning. Police say around 2 a.m. there was a disturbance outside of the bar that led to a shooting of a man in his 30s. He was in critical condition when he was taken to a hospital. Police did arrest Roland Rodella and Monica Esquivel shortly after the shooting. They both arrested on aggravated assault charge.
Well, 4 robbery suspects also nabbed after they crashed their getaway car. That was after a holdup at the Times Market store in Williams near Airline around midnight. Police say 2 men, one with a gun, robbed the store. A short time later, their getaway car spotted on SPID at Airline. The driver tried to evade police, drove down Rodfield Road, and that's where he crashed the car. Now, the 4 people inside the vehicle were captured after a brief foot chase. Police also recovered a gun. Now, Corey Newman, Francisco Chavera, Matthew Bryant, and Hillel Jones are all charged with aggravated robbery. Well, the police dive team returned to the scene of that chase out on Rodfield Road late this morning, where an officer lost some equipment as he chased one of the suspects into that creek there. The divers walked a portion of the creek bed searching for the gear. They recovered that flashlight you just saw along with the officer's taser and 2 body cams. They also wanted to make sure the suspect didn't toss a gun into the creek, and they didn't find one.
Thousands of criminal cases are stuck in Oasis County courts. The wait for justice is agonizing for the victims of those criminal cases. Investigative reporter Jessica Savage sat down with a woman who has waited almost 5 years for her day in court. She says it's because of a delay tactic used by the defendant.
Amber Cervantes wants closure. Back in December of 2013, she suffered a traumatic brain injury in a car crash. Remarkably, there are no visible signs of her injuries, but her internal suffering is what makes life these days a struggle.
I'm just in extreme pain. Since that crash, My pain level on a scale of 1 to 10, I've been living from 7 to 10.
That was after a suspected drunken driver slammed into her driver's side door going over 80 miles per hour. Right there at the top left of your screen, you can see the moment of impact, all caught on camera by police dash cam. The aftermath was even more devastating. First responders found Amber pinned in the vehicle and unconscious.
I have no memory of that event, and I don't even really know what I was doing out that night.
Police arrested the driver, identified as 24-year-old Hector Delaney Garcia, and charged him with evading arrest. He was later indicted on 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon for the crash, which happened nearly 5 years ago.
And I just can't believe that it's taken this long.
Amber's case is one of 6,700 criminal cases in Nueces County waiting for justice.
That sounds like a lot, but since we first told you about this problem, more than